Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Sorry I'm in the same shirt that I've been in for the last 3 days. I filmed all these videos on the same night. You should have seen this monk review the day before you see this video. So what we're going to be talking about, as you can see from the title of the video, is popcorn lung. That is something that I had a good friend text me about. I had somebody on my their channel, I'll link that here, on my other channel, they asked me about it, and so I decided I will finally talk about it. Here is the Harvard University study. This was for immediate release, December 8th. Okay, I want to get across to you look up what disinformation is, and then you will understand why I get so angry when I read stuff like this. Diacetyl, a flavoring chemical linked to cases of severe respiratory disease, was found in more than 75% of flavored electronic cigarettes and refillable liquids that were tested by Harvard. They don't give you the list of what those e-liquids were. So they're just saying 75% of e-liquid has a diacetyl in it. That right there is disinformation, because then they say right afterwards that were tested by the researchers at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. 2 other potentially harmful related compounds were also found in many of the tested flavors, which included varieties with potential appeal to young people, such as cotton candy, fruit squirts, and cupcake. I want to know what company is making this liquid, because they don't say, they just say that those flavors appeal to children. Okay, I'm almost 30 and I started vaping to quit smoking, and this entire article is filled with here's reasons why vaping is bad. I'm going to continue. The study will be published online December 8th in the Environmental Health Perspectives and will be available here after the embargo lifts. I don't know what that was about. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration and the flavoring industry has warned workers about diacetyl because of the association between inhaling this chemical and the debilitating respiratory disease bronchiolitis obliterans, colloquial term popcorn lung, because it's first appeared in workers who inhaled artificial butter flavor in microwave popcorn processing facilities. Recognition of the hazards associated with inhaling flavoring chemicals started with popcorn lung over a decade ago. However, diacetyl and other related flavoring chemicals are used in many other flavors beyond buttered flavored popcorn, including fruit flavors, alcohol flavors, and we learned in the study, candy flavored e-liquids. Okay, so what about those butter flavored popcorns and fruit flavors and alcohol flavors? Do you think there's articles going out like, oh my god, this alcohol brand has diacetyl in it, or oh my god, this popcorn has diacetyl in it? No, but because vaping has become so popular, it's something to attack. Recognition of the hazard associated, did I read that part already? I did, I'm sorry. There are currently more than 7,000 varieties of flavored e-cigarettes and e-juice, liquid containing nicotine that is used in refillable devices on the market. Although the popularity of use of e-cigarettes continues to increase, there is a lack of data on their potential health effects. That is untrue. It's just unbelievable. Before I started vaping, I did a lot of research on rats and mice that they had done tests on in Canada for propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin overdose, because they thought that the rats could have an overdose or that it would hurt their lungs. There were 3 generations of rats born that were, none of them found any sort of birth defects, none of them found any lung defects, anything like that. And that was pure propylene glycol and pure vegetable glycerin. So yes, these companies can use lots of different chemicals. The problem is, once again, they don't tell you which companies they tested. So that's dangerous in and of itself, that you tested e-liquid and found that 75% of it has diacetyl in it, but you don't tell us what those brands were. Some of the companies that make cigarettes, some of the big tobacco companies, actually produce electronic cigarettes. If you look on the side of the container of those electronic cigarettes, it will list an extremely long list of ingredients. That is also very important. When you go buy e-liquid, ask them, does it have a list of what's in it? When I first found my e-liquid, they had exactly that, a list of the flavors that were, not the flavors, but it had flavoring, vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, and like 2 other ingredients, and that was it. Another thing about my e-liquid, Halo, and I will link Halo down below because they are the best e-liquid, only US made liquid. All of their nicotine juice is, they get that from actual leaves, from actual tobacco leaves grown in the United States. So none of it is sourced out of China or Japan or anywhere else. All of it is US based. All of their e-liquid is tested for diacetyl and one of the other chemicals that's really bad. It does not have it in it, or else they would not be an up and running company. If you are a vapor, you need to be aware of these things and you need to educate yourself, please. If you are buying e-liquid from a cheap company and they do not have on their website that they test for diacetyl or any of these other chemicals, don't buy the liquid or email them and ask. It is not worth risking your lungs to buy cheaper e-liquid. Halo e-liquid is not cheap. It's $20 for a 30 milliliter bottle. That bottle will last me over a week, and I know that it is tested and 100% made in the USA. Moving on, because I could go on about this. There are currently more than 7,000 varieties on the market. Although the popularity and use continues to increase, there's a lack of data on the potential health effects. E-cigarettes are not currently regulated, but the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has issued a proposed rule to include e-cigarettes under its authority to regulate certain tobacco and nicotine-containing products. Allen and colleagues tested 51 types of flavored e-liquids and liquids sold by leading brands for the presence of diacetyl, acetone, and 2,3-pentanoidine, 2 related flavoring compounds that are listed as high priority, i.e. they may pose respiratory hazard in the workplace by the Flavor and Extract Manufacturers Association. Each e-cigarette was inserted into a sealed chamber attached to a lab-built device that drew air through the e-cigarette for 8 seconds at a time, with resting periods of 15 to 30 seconds between each draw. The airstream was then analyzed. At least one of the 3 chemicals were detected in 47 of the 51 flavors. Diacetyl was detected above the laboratory limit of detection in 39 of the flavors tested. Acetone and 2,3-pentanoidine, I can't pronounce that, was detected in 46 and 23 of the flavors respectively. Since most of the health concerns about e-cigarettes have focused on nicotine, that's not true. There is still much we do not know about electronic cigarettes. In its addition to containing varying levels of addicted substances, nicotine, they also contain other cancer-causing chemicals such as formaldehyde. This is another thing that makes me really angry. So you're going to tell me that you should quit vaping and go back to smoking because of acetone and nicotine and formaldehyde. If you do any research on the big tobacco companies, they all include those type of chemicals in their cigarettes. So when our bodies, as a smoker, I was addicted to some of those chemicals. So when I stopped smoking, it wasn't just the nicotine my body was going through withdrawals on. My body was going through withdrawals of every chemical that was in those cigarettes. The only thing that's in this are about 4 ingredients, and it has it on the side of the bottle, and also I buy my e-liquid from a tested company. So to say that, such as formaldehyde, like, yeah, almost all cigarette companies have formaldehyde in their cigarettes. Please give us a solution instead of just saying, oh, you shouldn't vape. And as other study shows, flavoring chemicals that can cause lung damage. Said study co-author David Cristani, Elkin Blount, professor of environmental genetics. Other Harvard Chan School authors include Sky Flanagan, Mallory LeBlanc, Jose Valerino, Piers McNaughton, and James Stewart. The study was supported by NIEHS Center grant, and then they give a number, and that's pretty much it. Visit Harvard for more news. It's just really... There are a lot of articles about popcorn lung. This is not something... Popcorn lung is not something that just... Like, yes, this has been a new jump in hatred towards vaping. But once again, they don't say what companies they bought that they tested from. Marlboro makes vaping, makes e-cigs. Procter and Gamble makes e-cigs. Like, you don't tell us what companies they were. So are you talking about the big tobacco companies that make e-liquid? Then yeah, they still have chemicals in their e-juice because they still want people to die of cancer. They still want people to be addicted to the chemicals and not just the nicotine. When I don't smoke or when I don't vape all day, it doesn't bother me anymore. There's no like, oh, I need to vape right now. When I was a smoker, after I got home from running the dogs or whatever, I would have my cup of coffee and it was like, it's time for a cigarette. There was no like, oh, I'll just chill out and I'll, clean up the house. No, it was like coffee and cigarette, then I'll clean up the house. My focus has very much changed that I don't need to vape. It's not something I need to do. I can go hours without doing it and not have a withdrawal. And again, when you're having withdrawals from cigarettes, it's not just the nicotine that you're having withdrawals from. You're having withdrawals from all of the chemicals in the cigarettes. So once again, of course, the big tobacco companies are going to want to keep you addicted. And the way that they do that is by making electronic cigarettes and by putting those chemicals in them and keeping you addicted to those chemicals. Okay, now I'm just yawning a lot because I'm talking too quickly. If you guys enjoyed this preachy video, please smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I try to make the video every single day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!